So in the last video, I showed how to set up the My Expressions and My Expressions class. We showed how to add two numbers together. In this video, I would like to show how to analyze a feature. It's just kind of a quick example, and then also how to connect to an external data source for populating parameters within ESPRIT. So in order to connect to a feature and to read through the feature data inside of a function, we have to add particular metrics. So and we have to add the feature as an input. So let's just type out public shared function read. Let's just call this a square feature, right? And I eval the feature as object, and then as a Boolean, right? You can see my Copilot's trying to type stuff out. So we can say dim my feature as a spree feature chain is equal to C type of feature as a feature chain. So we'll cast it as a feature chain. And it's probably best just to use a try cast. If it doesn't cast correctly, then we'll evaluate differently. So let's just go down a little farther. So if it's not nothing, we'll do it one way, but if it is, then we'll just say return false, right? So in this case, what we should do is for I equals 1 to my feature dot count, right? And we will then evaluate each step of the feature, each segment. And as we go through each segment, we'll understand if it's a square or not. So probably we should check to see if check that there are 4 segments, in the feature. So the first thing we have to do is if feature dot count not equal to 4, we'll return false. These counts, if you can imagine a feature, the feature has is a bunch of components all put together, segments and arcs, and we can identify if the feature has segments or if the feature has arcs. So if my GL graphic object type is not equal to a segment, then we'll return false. Okay. And in order to determine if it's a square, we have to evaluate the length of each side, and then we would need to evaluate the angle between each side. I'm not going to write out the logic for the angle. I'm just going to evaluate the lengths. And we can just call it a diamond feature, right? The evaluation of the angles is just more math than we need to focus on at the moment. Okay, if segment length equals 0, then all right. So they figured out the logic. We do want to get this length value. So we need to cast it as a segment. So there's a length property to the segment. If we wanted to, evaluate as well the angles, we could go through here and identify like the segment starting point in the segment ending point. And while evaluating the various points, we just correlate and measure the angles. Okay. For this demo, we'll just say returns true, and we'll say that it measures out a diamond feature in this case. So we'll accept that. So this is the methodology that you'd use to evaluate and measure through features. And you can see here that we're far past the 250 character limit, and we're using additional logical structures to evaluate the feature itself. So there's more that can be done within the extension than what can be done otherwise. Okay, so let's just allow this to persist, and we will go down to here where we have a sample put together of connecting to an external database. The database is a CSV file, very simply, and this is the database. I just have one tool in it at the moment, and but if I had more tools, we could incorporate more tools. Let's just show a couple more tools, 2, 3, and we'll call this tool A, and this will be tool B, and carry on from there. A is going to have 450, B is going to have a 1000, and 0.25 and 0.5. Okay, and then in the file we have a tool 1. So this is our database, so to say. For now, I'm just going to close it, and from here, what the function does is it'll open up the CSV file based off the file path, and then it'll read through the CSV file and extract the information, considering the tool ID matches. That's input. Right? So we'll be evaluating for the tool ID. So let's go ahead and start this up. We have two different samples of two different things that you could do for evaluation of the features. There's one more thing I'd like to show you in a moment, but for now, let's just run these functions and see how they work. Okay. So this is our square feature. Let's go ahead and add a additional feature. We want to go from here to here to here to here. That works. So we have two features now. One's a square and one's not a square. Go in here and we will evaluate the diamond feature. In this case, we just need to input the feature. This will be the feature object. We got a 0 for this first feature, right? And then this is the second feature. And in the second feature, we should get a different value. So let's go up here. Oh, got a 0 again. Okay, so I'm wondering, what's causing this 0 to occur? In this case, you can just go up here, add the breakpoint. The breakpoint will be hit. We can say, okay, feature count. That first one's going to come back as false. So that makes sense. And then the other one, we can just go in and check it. Run it through here. And what do we have? Oh, feature count is 5. Okay. Well, that would make sense. Take a look at this feature. Okay, so it starts on the sides. Let's just create a new one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll pull this in here. Open it up. Run it, and we made it past that first point, and now it's going to evaluate each segment. Made it past the segments, and now we're going to get a -1, which indicates that it's a true. So this is kind of one methodology for evaluating the features themselves. Okay, so let's say we want to do speeds and feeds from an external database. We're in the speed realm, so we just want to get the speed. Go in here, delete these, and then we just have to grab the tool ID. Okay, so there's our 150. Click this, and then we'll do the same here, but for the feed rate value. This would be kind of a situation where if you felt that you wanted to save the tool information or tool data in a separate database, or had a unique system that you are using for populating the specific fields. Let's say you wanted to query through an AI agent, for instance, or an external database, or whatever it might be. You could cause these fields to prompt to an external data system, and then they'd populate the fields as you choose for them to be populated. So I did say that I wanted to show one more thing in here. So let's go back to, in the first video, I referenced that this is a useful library to include. Reason being, we'll just type it out in here. If we type out ESPRIT KBM modules, what you'll find is that these are all the KBM modules that exist within the ESPRIT platform already. So if you're familiar with the expressions that are already in the ESPRIT platform, you can find those expressions here. Something that's useful is globals. This will give you access to the document or to the current ESPRIT application. So if you, for instance, you wanted to get the document file name, or if you wanted to search for tools through tools assemblies or anything else within the current ESPRIT file that you're working with, features or tools, fixturing, everything that's associated to the file, you can navigate it through the document class. And so this is a very useful methodology for reading through that information. And so that's basically it. If you want to learn more about the API that's built into ESPRIT and to understand how it works, some methods that you can use for this would be to go into the ESPRIT folder under ESPRIT Edge, the installation folder, the help folder. There's actually a CHM file. The CHM file has the entire API mapped. It also has tutorials, and these tutorials will essentially show you how to write out specific bits of code in C#, VB.NET, or VBA. And if you step through the API, you can find all the different functions and categories and things in here. So this is very useful. There's also some examples of how to create extensions below. There are additional tutorials inside of these folders. So you can see all the VBA tutorials are inside of here, in addition to VB.NET and C# tutorials. So these are some places that you can use to learn the API. You can reference those with your AI copilots, and you can develop your own unique functions and connections to Esprit in this way. So good luck automating, and thanks for watching.